Hey there YouTube, it's JP Dunphy, your brand specialist at Maserati The Main Line. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently. And instead of just going over the normal, features or ways to pair your phone, anything like that, I'm going to do something a little bit differently where I actually talk about a specific car that is offered by Maserati. Specifically, the Ghibli Trofeo. Now, those who don't know, Trofeo is Italian for trophy, and it's a name that's basically only been affixed to cars that are super premium and, above a normal one. So it basically plays the same role as BMW's M Division, Mercedes AMGs, or Blackwing for Cadillac. And basically, right now, all three models have a Trofeo option for it. So the Ghibli Quattroporte as well as the Levante. The two-door Gran Turismo and the Gran Turismo convertible ended their run last year, so those aren't really available. But to achieve this status, one thing this car gets that other ones don't is the twin-turbo 3.8-liter V8 that puts out 572 horsepower, 538 pound-feet of torque, and in the context of modern V8s, it's pretty modest grunt. It's not the 603 horsepower of the AMG, 600 horsepower of the M5, or the 590, pound-feet of torque that comes from the RS7. It seems a little bit less, intense. But what this car does that they don't, while Maserati's engine can't quite measure up to those two in terms of outright numbers, what it does is send all of its power to the rear wheels only, not all four. So what that does is it makes up for the fact that it's not putting all that power down now and sticks with the traditional, sports sedan formula. What that means, engine in the front, power to the rear wheels, right? So the one thing it does to kind of mitigate that is it does employ a mechanical limited slip differential in the back, which means that it can put the power down, mechanically. It's not working on just all, electronic trickery to put power down where it needs to. It doesn't use the brakes, anything like that. It's a mechanical limited slip differential. Something else that is especially nice that we do that is different from our competitors is we have an actual launch system that works perfectly with the 8-speed transmission. All right, and to activate it, super simple. Just simply point that steering wheel in a straight line and press the course driving mode. At that point, put your left foot on the brake, right foot on the gas at the same time, remove your foot from the brake, and the car just races forward. You couldn't make it easier. Now, even though Maserati claims a 0-60 sprint of about 4 seconds, the Germans are a little bit quicker in that sense, but unlike its all-wheel drive competition, its launch control allows for a little bit of spin in the wheels. So what that means is instead of getting the initial full-blown bite of all-wheel drive, you get the passion and the outright sex appeal that comes from this particular engine. What that means is instead of just, outright launching you forward, which, by the way, it still does. I mean, most people that have done actual tests, they've come closer to about 3.7 for a 0-60 test. But what you really get from it is there's a sex appeal. All right, there's a sound that comes out of these particular V8s that is missing from the others. Because the others, they do good. They got all the sound deadening. They don't do this here, right? We don't hide how great it is. You can tell that just by looking into the engine bay itself. You look into the competitors, they're covered. There are all these little bits and pieces that are covered up. Whereas Maserati outright shows, look at this engine. It is a piece of art. It talks to your soul. It talks to you, the driver. And, there's something to be said about this kind of car. It really speaks to you because it's not just about the speed. It's a luxury car. There's a certain finesse that this car has that allows you to still maintain the traditional sports sedan formula with that rear-wheel drive, leaving the front wheels to do the turning. All right, there's a little more feel. There's a little more pomp and circumstance to it. So while the other cars talk to your pure speed demon, this talks to your inner soul. It makes you really think. You know, it doesn't muddy up the space in front of you with all digital dash. It instead gives you tactical, pure analog gauges. Why? Because it helps. There's still a little bit in the middle that you can fool around with, make it say whatever you want. But for the main things that matter, speed and engine, your tachometer and your speedometer are still analog, right? So the other thing that they kind of don't talk about is that your 0-60 doesn't really say and prove is that the car is amazingly quick on the road. There is a surge every time you get on it, and an elegance, not just to the drivetrain itself, but to the interior, to the exterior, and the way it just moves you. Maserati over the years, very minimal changes. It's always had the same kind of front grille. You always know that Trident, and there is a presence to Maserati that is just missing from some of the others. What it does better than you expect is it has a 118-inch wheelbase, right? So that's about 2.3 inches longer than an equivalent Mercedes, but it's also a little bit shorter than the Germans, right? So it's a subtle, but those portions and the kind of taut, skin stretched over the muscle appearance that the Ghibli has is something that the rest of the class lacks. The Ghibli is there, and the Trofeo is like the guy in the muscle shirt, but this still covers up the muscles, but you can tell there's something there. It still shows in that front grille when you see those twin slats running through it. You know that there's business underneath. You know that it is just waiting. It's aggressive, and it flourishes in the way that it shows its aggression in the most subdued way, but it's there. They also have the new taillights that are in the back that was restyled in 2021, the new boomerang style. And inside it has all the typical things you expect. It has, the newer 2022 infotainment system, everything to make sure that you enjoy how you interact with the car inside. But again, something you have to do is just take yourself out of your standard way of thinking about cars and look at what moves you. That's where I think you'll find the Ghibli Trofeo. You'll find it in a place that moves you because, again, there's a level of class that is associated with a Maserati. Don't ever put that to the side. See for yourself. Drive one. Hear one. I can promise you, this car doesn't speak to just your butt dyno. It speaks to your soul. Try it. So that's it for this little video here. Thanks for being with me. Obviously, this was, like I said, a little bit different from my normal videos that I do, but I just wanted to kind of put that out there, go over why this is, a different kind of car. And with that, if you like this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe. All the typical things I ask for at the end of videos. If you have any suggestions, if you want to see something in particular, if you want to go over a very particular comparison, like if you want to know exactly how this stacks up against, say, an AMG E63S, let me know. I will do that for you. If you want to see how this goes up against an M5, let me know. I will do that for you. I don't know what you want until you tell me. So with that, let me know and we'll get it for you. With that, thanks so much for being with us. Have a great rest of your day and thanks for stopping by.